welcome to episode 116 of the Bench is Clear podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I'm Tyler Coe, representing the Los Angeles Dodgers, who went 7-1 since we last talked to you, and have the best record in all of baseball.
I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the San Francisco Giants, who are a very bad baseball team and went 3-5 if you the last two series, but a lot sadder things are happening in the baseball records. But Giants are really shitty. Don't forget about it.
They sure are, and there definitely were a lot sadder things. As everyone already knows, Vin Scully passed away at the age of 94. Yeah, I mean, it was super weird. I'm watching the game in my garage in my workshop, and I didn't have my headphones in at the time because I was watching on my Apple TV, and I went inside, went in the kitchen, and came back and just saw like the graphic of his birth date or birth year and his 2022, and I was like, no. So it just like for half a second I was like, maybe I didn't see the right thing. And then I put my headphones back in and they're talking about it, and I just started crying, and it's one of those things. It's so weird, like, a quote unquote celebrity. Like, I've never cried when a celebrity has died, but Vin wasn't really a celebrity to me. I don't want to say he was like my grandfather because, I don't know the guy, but I mean, he kind of was for a lot of us. And
that's a lot of grandfathers. So, yeah,
I mean, I think the big thing that really got me was, and I feel like it got a lot of people, is Vin represented, he was an incredible broadcaster, represented the Dodgers, but to a lot of people, he represented their own traditions. Like, for me, it brought up a lot of feelings of watching the games with my grandma. I mean, that's how I kind of got antiquated with baseball, is when I was 5 years old, watching games with my grandma in her apartment and listening to Vin Scully. And then I lost my grandpa not too long after that. So I never really had a grandfather growing up. So, I mean, he was a lot of different things to a lot of people. And I mean, he really did mean a lot to a lot of people. And it's sad, and we all knew it was going to happen eventually. But man, it hurts. It still does. I mean, it
right.
really does.
And I think it's another thing too. Like, I understand the whole, you never met him, it's a celebrity thing. But at the same time, that person's voice has been in your living room since even with me, growing up, there was no MLB TV. So the only Giant games I was able to watch as a kid were national broadcasts and when they played the Dodgers. Right. So I think, it's really sad. And the thing is like when it happened, I was sitting down with my wife and I was just like, holy shit, you seeing through Twitter. And at first it's just shocking, but then when you see like the clips of like when he retires and he starts talking about, I know that I needed you more than you needed me, dude. Then like, you start just like, crying. And it's bawling. Like, dude, that's, in a way, it's so dumb, but in a lot of other ways, it really isn't.
But you know why it isn't dumb, and you know why you were tearing up and why I was crying, is because, first of all, it's not true. He didn't need us more than we needed him, but he truly believed that. I mean, This is a guy that I challenge you to find any well-known public figure that someone has never spoken like an ill word about. I've never heard anyone say anything, even neutral about Vin Scully. It's always been, he's the greatest guy. When you meet him, he exceeds your expectations.
Right.
And it's, so you just know that he's a great guy and he's so genuine, and all those things he said, he meant them.
Yeah. And it's funny. It's funny because, like, especially being a broadcaster in the times of the stuff that he's gone through, you think of the things that he's seen and that he went through in the booth. I mean, you have guys in the booth getting in trouble, saying some things now that are technically a little insensitive. If you go way back, you can't find shit, and I guarantee people have tried. Have tried to find shit on it. You can't, because he was just a genuine good dude, a genuine just guy who cared about people. So, especially going through times of segregation and Jackie Robinson coming in, you can't pull up any clips of him being a piece of shit. So, and going through generations like that really says something.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is you kind of separate all the stuff of him being a broadcaster, because he was the best. I mean, everyone I think would agree on that. But it's just the man he was. I think that's what hurts the most, is like the world lost a great man, not just baseball, not just sports, the world, and a lot of people in the world may not know who Vin Scully even is, but for those of us who did, it's a huge loss that will, that hole will never be filled. So,
right. And I think that goes, I mean, I know we haven't talked anything about his announcing career, but he is the unarguable. He's the GOAT, greatest of all time. No one's going to come close. Some people that's what I was looking for. Jeez.
I know.
Like, people can maybe say Harry Carey, maybe, I guess, but no. I don't think anyone actually believes that, unless but there's a lot of negative things I've been said about Harry Carey too. So, yeah, I mean, one thing that I do just want to mention, especially coming from a non-Dodger aspect of his, hearing him broadcast the game, is he was like the opposite of a homer. There was times where if the Dodgers were getting blown out, I'll never forget one time, I want to say it's somewhere in the tens, but where the Dodgers were getting blown out, and then I think they hit a home run, and he's like, "Oh, this person hit a home run. Not that it really matters much to this game, but like, he had no problem roasting the Dodgers when they were being bad, and roasting any other team when they were, when they're being bad as well." So, I mean, we could talk about the stories and his way of announcing all day, but I think that's one thing that needed to be talked about. Yeah, I do want to mention one story, because I had never heard it before until the other night. There was a few stories that have come up. Bob Costas just told a really interesting story about when Vin got the Presidential Medal of Freedom, which is another crazy thing. I mean, I think that goes to show, just what a great guy he is. That was an interesting story. But the one that Joe Davis, I don't know if you heard him tell the story about how he found out he got the job, or he knew he'd got the job, and Vin called him and he didn't answer because he thought maybe it was a reporter trying to leak the story or something. And then he goes and listens to his voicemail, and it's like, "Hey Joe, this is Vin Scully. Sorry I missed you. I guess I start our relationship 0 for 2. Like, that that just seems like something he would do, and it's just like a very cute story, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. And it also, I mean, that goes more to obviously the kind of guy he was, and he wasn't too big for those situations. To talk about I think you can't talk about Vin Scully without mentioning his style of just the stories he would tell during the game, which would be not even close to anything to do with baseball, but you would just be so excited to hear about it. And, if you want to hear never like him. If
you want to hear the most not baseball story, I would implore all of you to look up Vin Scully, Torrey Hunter crack pipe and hear him tell that story. Yeah. I'll just tell it right now, I guess. Basically, so it's when Torrey Hunter, I think he was playing, I don't think he was playing for the Angels yet. Maybe he was. Anyway, Torrey Hunter, they're playing at Dodger Stadium. Torrey Hunter comes up to bat, and Vin starts telling a story about how Torrey Hunter's dad became a crack addict, I guess, at some point in his life, and borrowed Torrey Hunter's favorite hoodie, favorite jacket, and left a crack pipe in there. And then he went to school, and on the way to school the next day, he had a crack pipe in his jacket. Just a weird, and it's also weird because it seems like Vin doesn't really understand. He was like, "Yeah, there's a crack. I guess you'd call it a crack pipe. And I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
you know,
there's so
that's
many
a
different stories. I mean, the Johnny Gomes one was funny that just came out. I mean, that a lot of them are resurfacing. The Mad Bum with the snake with the baby rabbits, and it's just
yeah.
he's talking about guys rollerblading and like how they liked rollerblading. It's like there's so much stuff that like shouldn't. If anybody else would try to bring it up in a baseball game, it would be like, who the fuck wants to hear about
Yeah.
it? But
Shut
the way he told
fuck
it,
up.
yeah, the way he told it and the way he did it was just unmatched, and there'll never be another.
Yeah. Yeah. Rest in peace, Vin Scully. It hurts. You know, the last thing I want to say though, and I tweeted about it, and because I don't think people knew this unless you heard. I watched an interview with Rick Monday that night that Larry Baer went to the broadcast booths and were telling Rick Monday and Charlie Steiner that the Giants weren't putting anything out on the video board or announcing anything because they didn't know if the Dodger players and coaches in the dugout knew yet, and they didn't want to, affect any sort of competitive balance. Because I saw there's some people tweeting like, wow, like real classy of the Giants not to like put anything up on the board or something. And it's like, that's not it. Like they pulled
there's no way.
Very classy move, and it just shows like, throughout this, weird, deep hatred we have, sports are just a game. And, it was cool to see the humanity between the two teams. So,
I mean, you could just look back on when he retired and the send off that the Giants, he actually called his last game there.
He has a plaque in the press box at Oracle.
Right. Like there's absolutely no way that they wouldn't. And obviously the next day they did it right. And, did a huge thing for him. Because obviously, I mean, and that's where when he retired and they did that huge thing and let him, obviously wanted him to do his last game there and have the whole story about how he started off as a Giants fan because the Giants were getting their ass kicked. I think it's only fitting that, the first people, if it wasn't the Dodgers to honor him, it would be the Giants. So there's no way they wouldn't have not honored him.
Yeah. Well, again, rest in peace to Vin Scully. And, I think we're gonna move on to some baseball. Dodgers started the week in Colorado, and I think we went over it last week. The first game, I can't remember if we were in the middle of the game. Dodgers blew the Rockies the fuck out in Colorado, which they have not been able to do in quite some time. They won 13-0. The bats just came alive. Going into Friday, Clayton Kershaw takes the loss, gives up 5 runs. You kind of get the thought like, oh no, here we go again. Sure, we won the first game, but we just don't play well in Denver for whatever reason. They come back the next day. My boy and your favorite, Tony Gonsolin, picks up his 12th win of the season. Future Cy Young Award winner, not this year, but maybe one day.
Future Cy Young, one day, I think. Maybe. Probably not.
Picks up the W on Sunday. Yeah, I mean, it was a good series. I mean, to be honest, dude, with all the Vin stuff and the Giants stuff and the trade deadline, that seems like 3 weeks ago. So I don't even remember that much.
Right.
Like, I really don't. I remember the first game winning 13-0, and that's about it. But yeah, they win the series. They take 3 out of 4. That was the most important thing. And then going into Oracle, we'll get into that in just a few moments. Why don't we talk about a series where you were a happier time in Jesse's life?
How about no? I like you said, it seems so long ago and so far away that I don't think anyone wants to talk about the Cubs series, specifically because they did take 3 out of 4, but that just doesn't seem like, I'm not going to break down these games because I'd rather take this time to say, if we played this way against shitty teams like throughout the season, then we would have a wild card spot right now. And we would, maybe going for that second wild card spot, but definitely in the conversation right now. They're 6 games back, but there's honestly no evidence that they're going to do that. I mean, they've had 3 series against the Diamondbacks this season. They won a series, they lost a series, and got swept by the fucking Diamondbacks. They've lost both series against the fucking Reds. Like, this team is trash, and we should just talk about the Dodgers since, you know, I don't want to be like, oh, this is the positives right now, because it's just, I would just be lying and being like, yeah, this is so, it was positive a week ago. But when you get swept by the fucking Dodgers and you're 6 games back of the wild card and you get fucked on the trade deadline, which we'll talk about that in a second. You don't want to be happy. I mean, and it's not like a thing of like, hey, I didn't want to do obviously I was watching the games and writing notes down. I deleted all of them. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to go down every one of these games during a time like this. So game 1 of the fucking Dodgers series, I mean, we'll just play ping pong on this bitch. On my side, Webb gets just knocked, and then the Giants made Andrew Heaney look like fucking young.
Hold on. Look me in the eye and say it again. Webb what? just say it for me.
Right, bend over and turn your back, mean, like a dragon.
Logan Webb got fucking lit up like a Christmas tree, baby.
It was not a good time, and I guess, yeah, like I said, Giants made Andrew Heaney look like like he's like the Cy Young, like the fucking man. I mean, Wilmer hits a bomb, that's cool, but I wish he was hitting bombs on another team at this point, because at least he'd be able to be in a fucking wild card race.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, you summed it up. He got lit up. It was great. I think Sam Long got lit up a little bit too, which, whatever, your guys' bullpen is trash. Tuesday was where the real excitement started. Dodgers get out to a 5-0 lead, and I'm like, okay, cool. Here we go. I even tweeted the Giants are like so laughably bad, because that was when I think you guys had like 2 errors in the first inning, or it was the second inning, bad. I think is when we scored all the runs. And it was just looking.
So Wood got knocked. That's another one.
Well, I was just gonna say, Wood got fucking lit up, and everything was looking good. And then Tyler Anderson started getting lit up, and that was not chill.
Yeah, if the Giants do what the Giants do, and that is get close enough in the game to make you like excited something's gonna happen, to get your hopes up, and they always just fall short. Okay, so that's Giants baseball in 2022.
Yeah, but it pressed me for a little bit. I was like, shit, I should have tweeted that. Yeah, this is what I get. And then boy,
if you think about it, that's exactly what happened the first Dodger sweep. So game 1, it's same thing. They came back from 5-0 and it was 6-5, and then get fucking pecker slapped again. So
and we're gonna get into that too, because that kind of came up today in the game. Cody Bellinger hits a triple. Barnesy hits a double. Barnes, I think, had 3 hits. If you're giving up 3 hits to Austin Barnes, something's wrong. Something's not good. So there's that. And then yesterday, so Wednesday, nice little shutty.
Game 3.
And we haven't even talked about the 2 biggest things with Dodgers baseball this week, and we're about to get into it. But the Dodgers win 3-0. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. And then today,
give a little bit of love to my guy Cobb. He's probably the only starter who had a good game. So give some fucking love to my guy, Alex Cobb, who was solid but got caned. And the Giants are just leaving guys on base. 18 guys on base in game 3. I mean, there's bases loaded, nobody out. Who cares? Evan Phillips shuts it down. That's the thing. That's always they're about to get into the game.
Evan Phillips, the Dodgers' best reliever, who I've been saying that all goddamn year. Do you believe me now?
No, because I never want to believe in you. So
okay,
fuck yourself. But yeah, fuck
Evan Phillips, dog, straight dog, bro.
I mean, one time was given on a silver fucking platter, and that was game 3.
Oh my!
I'm sorry, Luis Gonzalez. What are we doing? Like, this is like some shit. Like, you don't know the rules, and someone tells you just to get back. Like, that wasn't even close to being dropped. Like,
that was bad.
There?
That was really bad.
That was the 2 things I yelled yesterday. I was so pissed at that one. And then there was a 3rd strike call on, who was it? not to end the game because that was, I mean, that one sucked too. But Luis Gonzalez was given a pass on a third called strike. But I remember, I forgot who it was, but they weren't calling corners all fucking day. And then all of a sudden they call corner. It was just, I mean, not like that made a fucking difference because whatever. But I don't know. I'm talking in circles. Game 4.
Dodgers get out to an early 1-0 lead. And then JD Davis hits a home run. And I'm like,
JD Babe Ruth Davis.
Yeah. The greatest trade deadline pickup of all time. JD Davis.
Juan Soto. Who? Juan who?
Yeah, exactly.
Who is that guy?
A literal nobody. So, 2-1 game, no big. And then who comes up to the plate? One Mookie Betts crushes a 3-run home run. And that's all the Dodgers will need. But then Trey Turner puts a little cherry on top, and the Dodgers win 5-3 because Craig Kimbrell sucks.
Can we talk about this Mookie celebration? The fucking, I don't know what it is. Like, hey, yo, he's jerking it and then splurking it on his face. What's going on here?
What are you talking about?
You haven't seen it? Please tell me you haven't seen it. The Giants, I mean, we retweeted it on Twitter. They saw Mookie in the dugout and him, Hanser Alberto, and I forgot who else, but they're doing this motion with each other, just like this. And then someone throws water in Mookie's face, and he's like this.
Hey, I don't give a shit.
Hey,
we're the best team in baseball. You think I care?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can do whatever the fuck you want, but I just wanted to shift because I know what we're gonna talk about.
Hold on.
I
got a couple things, bro.
You don't got.
You're interrupting me again, bro. What can I talk about? The greatest baseball player of all time, James Outman, of course. Are you joking? First of all, comes up, has a 3-hit night. His first career at bat, home run.
Cut your hair, hippie.
Okay, relax. He's killing it. He's like 6'11", some ribbies. And we're like, okay, we got one guy up from the farm. Let's just bring another one up. And Miguel Vargas fucking crushes a double in his first at bat, first major league RBI. That would have been a home run in 17 stadiums, by the way, not your little fucking Mickey Mouse playpen stadium with your all dumb dimensions. A classic real ballpark that would have been
playpen stadium.
That's what I just fucking said, isn't it?
What the fuck are you even talking about?
You have ears, homeboy. Relax.
JD Davis would have had a freaking 3-run bump today too. Then
yeah, he definitely would have. But then Miguel Vargas would have had another home run. By the way, Miguel Vargas steals third. The next pitch, the lights aren't too bright for him. Okay.
Billy Hamilton steals bases too. Were we talking about that? Who gives a fuck?
I'm just saying. Bro, the lights are not too bright. He's locked in.
About stealing a base. This is insane. This is like I'm sure the guy probably made a defensive play too. You want to talk about a routine fly ball that he caught? I mean, is that what we're talking about? Is that we're getting on? We're
talking about right now? We're talking about James Outman, bro. OPS 1400, batting average 462. Sick hair. I'm sorry you're going bald. That's not my problem. It's not James Outman's fault that you're going bald, okay?
You don't know that. It could be James Outman's fault. This could
Outman,
be.
It's Outman, bro. Like hitting the ball out. You said up.
Okay. Yeah. Well, maybe he's just the bane of my existence, and he's the wrong. All the things that are wrong in my life. Maybe he's the one who gives crack to my dog. That's why she's all wiry all the time.
I mean, you guys called up an outfielder, and he can like kind of hit the ball. He can at least catch the ball, so that's good enough for you guys.
Put some respect on Bryce Johnson's name. I've actually been a big fan of him for a couple of years now. High average guy, but also a very good center fielder. Just hoping he can, because he's not a power guy, but if he gets on base and can play a sick ass center field, he'd be really valuable. So put some respect on my dude's name.
Yeah, I think you guys are going to climb out of that 20.5 games back hole and make a push.
Definitely will not be 20.5 games back by the end of the year. Actually, probably not.
It's going to be worse. All right, let's talk about whatever dumb shit you want to talk about your boy getting all pressed with Mookie Betts in the on deck circle. Not even at bat, just minding his business in the on deck circle.
Wasn't it after his big hit he did the Wolf of Wall Street thing? That's the new Dodger thing because of Trey Turner making the
he hit that after a home run.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what he was mad about. I'm not.
Yeah, but
I don't agree with him. I'm just saying
he got all pressed when Mookie was in the box in the on deck circle.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I honestly, can I be honest with you? Just man to man right now. I have no idea what the fuck he was crying about. I don't get it. And not only that, but like, what are we doing here? Like, are we really gonna like? You just got your ass kicked at home, and that's what you're gonna get upset about? Them celebrating, you're gonna get butthurt about it, like. And Trey Turner had a quote, looking on Twitter for Fabian. Oh, I don't know how to say his last name, so I don't want to ruin it. He writes for The Athletic. Trey Turner said, "I think nothing really surprises me anymore, but at the time of the game and the score of the game and the inning, it didn't really make a lot of sense to do to a lot of us. I think, but I guess that's where they're at. And I guess you can't really say it any better than that. That is where they're at, but it's like, what are we doing here? I mean, and at first I wasn't sure why Gabe Kapler got ejected and what the deal is, but Michael Duarte, I don't know if that's how you say his name, really terrible at reading. And if I got his name wrong, I don't give a fuck. But he said that Gabe Kapler was not happy about with Harlan Garcia getting all crazy. He just got on fire when the umpires came over and told him to handle it, which he said he was already doing, and that set him off, which could be another thing of maybe, how Antoine Richardson got upset and, when he said handle your guy, and, maybe he took it the same way. So he was just like, hey, you don't tell me I'm going to handle my guy, but don't fucking like, I don't know. Maybe that's what set him on fire. That's supposedly what he said. So I thought it doesn't seem. I mean, he didn't necessarily that I've seen so far on Twitter. I was trying to look before we started recording, but I don't think he threw anybody under the bus. But you can't exactly back that. So I understand him saying like, yeah, I wasn't happy about it, but
Harlan Garcia just looks dumb
right now. So fucking dumb, dude.
Remember the last time he faced off against Mookie Betts? Do we remember? Do I need to bring it up again?
Well, no, because there's no real proof that actually happened. Because you're not going to put it on TV in front of me right now. So
that's right.
I mean,
but how do you go after someone after striking out one of his teammates? And the last time he faced you, he hit a fucking 3-run bomb to take the lead and win the game.
Right. And
you look like a dum-dum.
Right. And here's the thing: if he was like telling it, like yelling at him, talking shit, like you're not doing this to me, like you come back up, I'm gonna strike you out. I would maybe kind of fuck with that because, like, hey, you're just talking shit and maybe trying to fire yourself up. I like that. But if you're doing that because you're upset that they were doing the new freaking Wolf of Wall, I guess you can just give me doing this. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. But, the Wolf of Wall Street thing, pounding in the head, like, if that upsets you, I just don't know. I mean, especially when you're on a team that bunts and steals on blowout games. You can't get upset by dudes doing celebrations. You can't have it
both ways.
No, you cannot. So
the other thing was, I thought Kapler got tossed and was pissed because Mookie started taking some steps towards the field. It looked like towards the dugout because Garcia is walking off towards the dugout, and it looks like he makes the like bring it on kind of motion. So I thought that's why Kapler got pissed, is maybe he thought Mookie should have been tossed for, maybe instigating something. But, I mean, it is what it is. You lost the game.
After that, that's a little weird. Like, I don't know. I also don't think the umpires really helped the situation. They just set it on fire. But the situation shouldn't even started because Harlan Garcia should have just walked back to the fucking dugout when you're about to get swept 2 times in a row by the same fucking team. So,
yeah.
I don't see it. I don't get it.
Yeah, well, the Giants are not looking good, especially since they didn't get any reinforcements at the trade deadline.
Yeah, Yeah, I guess we'll just go there. I mean, yeah, we'll talk about our teams and then maybe go around the league. If you want to start with the Giants, sure. It's just gonna be more of me being pissed off.
Exactly.
Okay, because I just, what the fuck are we doing here? That's what the trade deadline was. Because honestly, the first move that happened, J.D. Davis for Darren Ruff and some decent prospects. You texted me and you were like, haha, but I was like, dude, solid move. I
didn't say haha. I said bye Ruff.
But you were kind of ha-haing. Like you were J.K. Rowling.
I think it's a good move.
Yeah,
it was a defensive upgrade in the outfield and prospects.
Exactly. You have a bunch of DH guys. It's a solid move. Then they sell off Matthew Boyd. They get rid of Kirk Casali. Hey, you know what? Kirk Casali and Austin Wins, probably not much of a difference. If you can get something for him, sure, I'm for it. But fucking pick a side. Like, do something. If you're going to sell, then sell. Sell Rodon, sell Peterson. I would have been fine with it. If you're going to buy, then fucking do something. Like, I don't understand how you can seriously tell the fan base, hey, we believe in this team and we want to, we want to do something, but you don't fucking add. You see how bad this bullpen is. This last 2 series, the Giants bullpen has given up runs in 6 out of the 8 games they played. They need help. They're fucking drowning, dude. I understand that you're not going to go all the way out and get, let's say Juan Soto, not alone Juan Soto, but actually Brandon Drury got a pretty decent return, a pretty high prospect. If you don't want to pay that high of a prospect for that right now, I get it. That makes sense. But do something. I just don't understand how you cannot add to the bullpen. Give him 1 more arm. Shit, give him 3 more arms. Whatever. They don't cost that much. Why isn't Andrew Chafin on the Giants right now? Why isn't Rafael Iglesias on the Giants? It's bullshit. It's stupid. You don't know where the fuck this team is going. Losing Kirk Casali, Boyd, Ruff for 6 minor leaguers and J.D. Davis. I think that's a complete F minus, 0 credit, whatever, on the trade deadline, because I think you're also slapping the fan base in the face saying, we believe in this team, we're going for it, but you don't add any solid player. Well, J. Davis is solid, but you don't add anything to the needs. You don't add anything to the bullpen. Like, that's no. But if you were to be like, hey, look, this season didn't really work out. We're going to get Rodon, get a return for Rodon. We're going to get a return for Peterson. You could have packaged them together and probably got a really solid return. I think a lot of guys would be like, okay, that makes sense. It sucks. Let's punt for 2023. It is what it is. But do fucking something. To be like, to do nothing and say we believe in this team. No, the fuck you don't, because you would have added a bit. I'm talking in circles now. I'm just so angry and so butthurt and upset, especially rubbing it in with the 4-game sweep. That's the Giants trade deadline, and we suck.
No, dude. Carlos Rodon said it best. Like, let's go try and win.
We're here. We might as well win.
Yeah, that's more inspiring words were never spoken ever.
All I'm saying is if that does happen, and at the parade, the day of the parade, I'll get a tattoo of that. We're here. We might as well win. Giants 2022 World Series champions. Let's fucking go.
Yeah. Well, we all know that's not going to happen.
Dodgers trade. I wanted to say one thing. There's this whole narrative that if the Giants have a good week, they're back in it. And that's what everyone keeps saying. That's what players and Varn Zaidi keep saying. Oh, we just need a good week. In all reality, they are gonna have a good week, and they're gonna get 2.5 games out of the wild card, just enough to get our hopes up, just to go back down to 5 games. So that's what the Giants do. That's what's gonna happen.
God, I love hearing you be negative. It takes a lot to get you negative. That's how far the Giants have fallen off. Speaking of not doing anything at the trade deadline, the Dodgers didn't do anything. In my opinion, Dodgers go out and get Joey Gallo, which whatever. They trade Clayton Beater to the Yankees.
Hopefully we get Trace Thompson now.
I fucking doubt it, bro. Trace Thompson's going to be on this roster into the playoffs. He's going to be on the playoff roster. He's going all the way, baby. It's not that I believed Clayton Beater was going to be great. I mean, he might have been a back of the rotation kind of guy. I don't know. But I just don't see how Joey Gallo makes us better. I don't. I mean,
Right.
I know this is a buy low, we can try and fix him type shit, but it's like, dude, we needed pitching. And I didn't talk about this in the recap because I was saving it for now. As an example, Clayton Kershaw left today's game with lower back soreness or lower back pain, which was what he was out for earlier in the year. So what if Clayton Kershaw doesn't come back? What if Walker Buehler doesn't come back? You have Tony Gonsolin, who's thrown, an exorbitant amount of innings in comparison to what he's ever done. And then you're going with Tyler Anderson, Andrew Heaney, and Julio Urias, because what if Dustin May doesn't really pan out as far as coming back from Tommy John? I mean, there are a lot of what ifs, and this idea that Danny Duffy, because I saw that, in one of the reports, Blake Trinan, Danny Duffy hasn't thrown a fucking baseball in a major league game in how long? 2 years?
Oh, almost.
And
I think he pitched a little bit in 2021, but
Blake Trinan, I think he threw to live hitters in Colorado, which is a good sign. And I don't think Gratterall will be out much longer. So the idea of when we get the guys we want coming back, it's a whole different dynamic. And that's true. But what if they go down again? What if someone in the current rotation like Kershaw went down again? I mean, you could have went and got someone, just an innings eater at the very least, but they didn't do anything. So that's what gets me, is they didn't do anything on the pitching side. And then you go and get...
They got Chris Martin.
Who the fuck cares? They got Chris... I'm saying before...
The bullpen piece.
Yeah, but we already talked about that. That's... What I'm saying is, deadline day, when we knew, this is the roster we have, they chose to do nothing. Hey, Chris Martin's going to give up fucking home runs like a motherfucker, okay?
Possibly.
So whatever.
Hopefully.
But dude, you didn't go get... Dude, Raziel Iglesias went to the Braves for nothing.
Right.
And it's we have Craig Kimbrell, who we just keep doubling down on, and I don't understand why. Look at today, gives up hard contact again. Last night, gets himself in a really shitty situation. I mean, dude, in the playoffs, there's no tomorrow. We can't keep doing this.
Right.
And it's really frustrating.
It's frustrating.
It's frustrating.
I understand. And for me, for part of it's I'm reading Don't Kill Myself books. You guys are the best fucking team in baseball. And yeah, you didn't add, but whatever, who fucking cares? You guys bring someone up from the minor leagues and you dominate on other teams. Right now, I'm just so over that. But I understand what you're saying, because the reason that they have, the good farm system they have, why didn't they go get that closer, that lockdown guy, to complement with Blake Trinan to just secure the World Series win? I mean, yeah, they didn't need to do the whole Scherzer Turner deal again, or Machado, or that lineup. You can't really. I mean, what else can you do to add to it besides get Juan Soto? There's not really would have really made your lineup that much better.
Right.
So I get what you're saying about the bullpen, but I mean, they didn't need that huge, sexy move that the Dodgers always do. They just needed the bullpen piece.
That's the thing, is anyone who says they don't want Juan Soto is a liar to a degree. I would have loved one. Huh?
You were a liar 3 weeks ago.
No. Well, you didn't let me finish, asshole. What I was saying is,
fuck you finishing.
I didn't want Juan Soto for the price we would have had to pay. And I think Andrew Friedman, just drove the price up. And San Diego gave a lot. But dude, San Diego, after the deadline, has 3 new semi-elite guys. I mean, obviously Juan Soto's elite, but dude, Brandon Drury, career year. Josh Bell's doing great. 3 brand new guys slotting in their lineup.
Yeah. That's not even talking about Josh Hader.
Exactly. And the rotation. I mean, the rotation is good. If those guys are on.
Right. And the reason why the Josh Hader thing is a little, if you're going for to look at it from your perspective, because for us, I mean, what the fuck would we do with Josh Hader? But I mean, I don't think they would even try to go for it, because it just wouldn't make sense. But if the Dodgers wanted to go after Josh Hader, they could have matched what the Padres did. Why the fuck
And
not?
the Padres are the Brewers are DFAing Nelson Lamet.
That's another huge thing. What the fuck?
And I'm
dude?
hoping.
Like,
I mean, there's no way he clears waivers. Someone's going to pick him up. I hope the Dodgers pick him up. Why not throw him in the bullpen?
Hell yeah, yeah.
His arm might be falling off, but let him pitch.
I'm not
inning
exactly
tonight.
sure how the waiver wire works throughout the year. I don't know if it's still the same thing where it's based off last year's record, then we would be dead last. But I don't understand why you can't. I mean, he was dominant when he was healthy. So obviously there's something going on there. The Giants have been known to pick up injured guys, pay for the rehab, and to have it. So I don't know. Hopefully,
what's crazy is
they're willing to pick up that tab and do it again.
Milwaukee was saying, like, we really hope he clears waivers and we can outright him to the minors, but he has over 5 years of service time, so he can elect. Yeah, he can. He has 5 years of service time, which is crazy. But he can go. He can decline a minor league assignment and choose free agency. So
yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. You know,
get a 1-year deal with a team who is known to put starting pitchers, get them paid. I mean, come on, Nelson, what's up? I don't know.
I'm just saying, now that there's
no last place, who cares?
Now that there's no waiver trade deadline, I mean, this is like the next best thing is going to be seeing what happens with the Nelson Lamet, because everything else is over. So. But this will be interesting. But yeah, dude, Padres got way better, and I'm not worried about the division. But the playoffs, we could certainly be meeting them in the playoffs. And the Braves got better. The only team that's like Braves in the race that I didn't think really got better was the Cardinals. I mean, yeah, they got Montgomery, but they traded away Harrison Bader. So
yeah, but Harrison Bader's like hurt. So that's another thing too. I think the Cardinals get better, but at a very small degree. I think the Brewers got worse. So I in a way, that's an upgrade too, because I mean the Brewers bullpen has already given up 2 games since the deadline. So there's a couple of weird things with this deadline. First of all, it was one of the biggest deadlines I think we've had in a while. I mean, to see Soto actually get traded is insane. And if you're a Padres fan, like, fuck, dude, I'd be ecstatic for the next 5 years of your team. Well, I guess technically just the next 3 years, because you don't know what's going to happen with Soto. I would imagine they're going to try long term, because you're far Juan Soto in your fucking lineup every day. I mean, you just put all your money and energy into just developing pitching. You're going to be fine for a long time. But I think a lot of weird things happen. A lot of contenders traded with contenders, which is weird. I get maybe the Smith and Odorizzi thing was a little okay, because it's, across leagues, so you don't play, you're not competing for the same spots. But it was really weird. The Brewers were trading their strength to the Padres, who they can easily meet up in the playoffs. Like, it's just really fucking weird that we had trades like that. And I think the Yankees did a good job too on their trade deadline. But
well, dude, what about the fucking Orioles? They're in it, and they traded Lopez and Mancini. Because
you know what? They were in the same boat as the Giants, and they are at trade deadline wise. Orioles are smarter than the Giants. They were like, you know what? Listen, what are we going to do? Like, maybe get into a wild card spot? And, no. Which, honestly, I feel like they should have kept Trey Mancini. Whoever they get's not going to be worth, leaving Trey Mancini. But trading their closer, if they feel like they got a good, solid return for it, fuck it. I would have done the same thing. People were calling for Duvall, and they gave us a really solid return. Fucking do it right now. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, the thing about Mancini is, too, like, he could sign back with the Orioles in the offseason.
That's true. And he probably
Which I
will,
could definitely
honestly
see that happen. That's like what Christian Vasquez was saying once he got traded to the Astros and had to walk across the field to his new team. Saying he wouldn't mind re-signing with Boston. One more thing about the Padres. When, all the Juan Soto stuff is breaking, it's like, fuck. Like, your initial reaction is fuck. Like, anywhere but San Diego or San Francisco. Anywhere but there. And then it really is like, okay, it looks like they're not going to blow it. And then it happens. And then it's like Eric Hosmer, included in the deal, would have to waive the no trade clause. And I was just like, Jesus Christ, like, it's happening. The curse. It's happening. Preller fucked up again. And then he ends up going to Boston and none of it matters. And I mean, the best part is the Padres are paying like $44 million of his contract. So
Right.
I think the Red Sox are paying $4 million this year. And then the Padres are on the hook for $44 million. But
I think
dude,
he still has
just
like 3
that,
years left of his deal too. Like, what if in like 3 years the Padres and the Red Sox are in the World Series and just Eric Hosmer goes off?
well, that's what
That would be
everyone's saying.
amazing.
Like Joey Gallo's gonna like wreck the Yankees in the World Series, which would be awesome because, dude, with those articles, dude, so much has happened this week. It's crazy. The articles coming out about Joey Gallo, dude, that was some of the saddest shit I've ever read. Just not wanting to go outside, not wanting to be in public in New York, and like a week or two before the deadline, just knowing for sure he was gone. Pretty sad stuff. But yeah, I mean, back to Hosmer, dude. There was that, minute or two where I was like, they're gonna blow it again. The Padres are gonna fucking blow it again, and I got so excited.
Right.
But good for Hosmer, dude. Good for him to get out.
And I know a lot of people have said how mad Luke Voigt is, but dude, if I was Luke Voigt, I would. And I guess Eric Hosmer owes nothing to Luke Voigt, and he didn't make that decision. AJ Preller did, so it's not technically on Eric Hosmer. But at the same time, if I was Luke Voigt, I would take a shit on top of Eric Hosmer's car. Like, I would be so fucking pissed. Like, you're already going out of town anyways, dude. Why the fuck are you just demand a trade inside Washington? Leave me the fuck alone. Yeah. I'd be bummed.
But yeah, dude, I mean, for Hosmer, I would have done the same thing. I'm not going to fucking Washington. Are you joking?
Yeah. At least in Boston, they could easily contend next year. And not only that, you get to play in Fenway. You know what I mean? Like there's
it's a real team.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that pretty much wraps up the deadline. A lot of people giving shit to me because I said Joey Gallo's not good at baseball. And listen, I hope he proves me wrong. I'm not over here rooting against the guy, but he's a career 200 hitter.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get over that. Like, I know it's all about OPS and WRC plus, and I get that. But dude, we don't need two Max Muncies. Okay.
I don't really get OPS plus. I understand what it's supposed to be, but how the fuck do you how is an algorithm or whatever gonna adjust for park and like I don't know. I'm not sure I'm a huge believer in that. I get OPS, yes, for sure. But OPS plus, I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe nerds come, set me right and tell me I'm dumb and make me see the light. But as of right now, I don't fucking see it. But that's a guy that honestly thought that the Giants were maybe going to target. I thought he would go for a lot less. And I thought it was going to be guys that were like, hey, we're going to get some low cost guys and, see what happens. And that would have been 100% fine, because at the end of the day, if you want to try to win, with this extra wild card, why the fuck not? You're here. You're really close. Might as well fucking just try to do it. But to do nothing, it's a slap in the face. Farhan fucked up this time. And that's notch on against his record.
Although, and the thing about Gallo, I mean, he's a great defensive outfielder, but he can play first and third, if I'm not mistaken. So I get it from honestly, that perspective. The Dodgers love the versatility.
Right. If he hits 200 but has 40 bombs, which he's done multiple years, who the fuck cares? Like, honestly.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to be playing consistently enough. That's what worries me the most.
In the Giants lineup, he would. Okay. Like, the funny thing is I saw someone tweet about how Chris Taylor and Edwin Rios were hitting 1 and 2 for the AAA team. And I was like, I feel like they'd be hitting 1 and 2 in the Giants lineup. Like right now, oh God, it's bad over here. So sad.
Can't relate forever. Cannot relate. Yeah, sorry, bro. Shit sucks for you. So what do the Giants got coming up this week? What's their series look like? Not like it matters.
Let's wrap this thing up, guys. We're gonna go to Positive Town. Okay, we're going to Oakland. All right, and then we're gonna go to San Diego, and we're gonna beat the shit. Nah, I'm not gonna give a record this time because I feel like when I am positive, they get their ass kicked. If I try to overcompensate, they get their ass kicked. So I'm not gonna say anything. They play Oakland for 2 games, and then the Padres for 3 games. We'll see what happens. Hopefully Soto doesn't kill us. And I thought it was one thing I should probably mention. is I'm not sure if you saw what Logan Webb said on the Twitter when
for the Soto thing,
the Soto thing,
the stepbrothers shift.
Yeah, like the stepbrothers laughed, the ha 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 when he said that, when Soto was like, "Oh, I feel sorry. Good luck to the pitchers." I love it because I love the shit talk, but like, and maybe it's also a thing of like, you know, one. I can't even speak right now. One side, I'm like, dude, you're getting your ass kicked right now. How can you talk shit? But at the same time, that's what Michael Jordan said on The Last Dance. It's easy to talk when you're up, talk when you're tired, or talk when you're down. So let's fucking get it, Logan Webb. It's gonna happen. Fuck him.
No, probably not. Back to contenders over here. The Dodgers got 4 with the Padres. A weird Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday series. It's gonna be crazy. Tomorrow's gonna be insane. There's the Vin ceremony. It's Soto's first time coming to Dodger Stadium in a Padres uniform. It's gonna be rowdy. I think the Dodgers are gonna. I think they're gonna split. Honestly, that lineup, you know, looks a little bit different. It's a little bit better,
right?
So we'll see.
And not only that, but I feel like here's the thing: the Dodgers, they're not exactly 100% motivated to grind shit out right now. They literally just brought up a couple guys from AAA to play against the Giants. Like, hey, we'll see what the fuck happens.
Couple future rookie of the years,
and they fucking just pepper slapped them. So I feel like they're not even like, there's no urgency. So there's no reason why they don't, you know. Split.
Well, and the interesting thing is going to be, one, I mean, this wouldn't happen in the Padres series. We're also playing the Twins 2 games next week. I'm assuming Ryan Pepio is going to be the guy that gets called up to take Kershaw's place because he's going to be on the IL. But then, you know, with Justin Turner, he's going to be on it for a little bit. But Chris Taylor and Edwin Rios might be ready to go soon. And that changes things, especially with Chris Taylor. I mean, you love having a guy like that in the lineup. So I'm saying the Dodgers, they're going to go 3-3 this week, which is fine. You know, just got to keep coasting. Yeah, we'll see how things go. I'm getting my Freddie Freeman bobblehead on this week, so I'm good, baby.
No one fucking cares.
Everyone cares.
Fucking bobbleheads.
Well, yeah, I'm going to end it here on a positive note before you go a negative. Positive. Be negative about it. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This episode is brought to you by Renovation Candle Company, where you can get candles for 50% off. Just follow them on Instagram, and you'll find the promo code there.
Follow them on Instagram, yes. As well as, why not follow us on Instagram? Let's make this official. We're on Instagram, Benches Cleared Podcast. On Twitter, Benches Cleared P, and TikTok, Benches Cleared. Thank you for listening, and make sure to subscribe to us on your favorite podcasting platform, as well as YouTube. Well, actually, might as well do both. Do it all. Help us make this a real thing. And we will see you guys next week, baby.
When the Giants are officially out of it.